Hello and welcome. It is the 9th day of January 2017 and welcome to the Silver Charts channel. My name is Derek. In this video, look at the daily chart for both silver and Bitcoin. But before getting into that, I want to talk a little bit about this decline in the early 1980s and a little bit on the rise, as a lot is stated within the move up, that it's the Hunt brothers that really drove a lot of this market down, and even for that matter, drove it up, and even for that matter, drove it down as well. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But before, I see, as the Hunt brothers, they were very rich people. They bought a lot of physical silver bullion metal. Not as much was available back then. And they also played this futures game with a lot of leverage, which really was their Achilles heel. And I look at this move up now, this entire run in here, and I think, quite frankly, that the bullion investors, because of concerns of a fiat currency crisis collapse, or just even the fact they think it's going to go way up, any of those types of reasons outweigh the Hunt brothers, as it should, when you're talking about tens upon tens of thousands of people who are, of course, into the physical silver commodity. And with that being said, let's talk about the sell-off a little bit. And to do that, let's go over an article that was written by Investopedia.com. And it states, Uncle Sam steps in within this paragraph, and the government of the United States became concerned about manipulation amongst silver reserves. And it's interesting when you read that. I'm not going to read the entire article, but what I'm going to go over the next part is federal commodities regulators. These are people. Introduced special rules to prevent any more long contracts from being written or sold for silver futures. Now, would that not be the definition of manipulating? Just saying, just saying. This stopped the Hunt brothers from increasing their positions by temporarily suspending the fundamental rules. Another highlight. With longs frozen and shorts free to pile in, and you just gotta love how that's written in, and you can see why. With the price now, the price of silver began to slide. And when you have situation, when you play on margin like that, that means they had no choice but to get rid of the positions. Thus, the move that's seen 50 go down to about a little over a 10 or close to a dozen, back up to 26, back down to 5, and back up to about 15. There's your key lower highs and lower lows. And before that, there was a few more. And now, of course, it's been making these higher highs and higher lows for the most part. It's got to stay above 846 to maintain a higher low. Okay, so that is that information. Now let's move on to the daily chart, and there's not that much to go over. Volatility very low and at about 0.85%, but 8:25 in the morning, a little after that as of the recording of this video, and it's holding amongst this 18 average of highs. Okay, so be it, not bad, but it's still got to get above this high and challenge the previous one to consider this thing to move into a bull market. I need to see more than a break of this resistance still to claim a bull market. But on the contrary, if this thing, of course, does go well higher or establish a low like this and break like that, then I would make it a bull market. Any moves that fall below 16, you're seeing the situation like in here, move to the band, move to the band, move to the band. What happens every single time it breaks the key support? Well, another leg lower is pretty much the answer to that. Okay, now let's move on to Bitcoin. But before I do, I'm not going to always be able to go through some fundamental analysis. And yesterday was a day I didn't have time to watch too many videos, so I didn't watch, or listen to rather, Realist News on China launching weak Bitcoin. This is fundamental news. If you're not familiar with JSNIP4, he's a popular cat, and he has a lot of 2 to 3 20-minute videos per morning. Good to put on, and when you're cleaning the house, listen, do stuff like that. Maybe put on your background, but good information nonetheless. And if you're interested in it, might be useful. And when people start out, oftentimes you can get very low views, and Silverspeed is somebody who commented on my video within this last week and using my Bitcoin chart in a portion of his video, which is really cool. There's some good analysis within. I've only seen a couple of his videos. However, I'll put a link to his channel in the more information box. And what I like about his channel is it reminds me a lot of 2008, 9, 10-ish kind of time frame when it was YouTube, broadcast yourself, and there was a lot of people that I was looking for doing the video logging, vlogging, and it just brings me a little bit of a blast to the past, because I'm really curious to see how this whole internet, and really because I've been using the internet for 20 years, how it's going to progress. But this type of internet, which is the social media video, which is now 10 years plus in the running. So Bitcoin chart now. Alrighty then. We can see that in here it was 1100, falling down to a little under 8. Now in at about 860. From this point, well, the gold to bullion ratio, or gold to Bitcoin ratio, 1.37. It was like 1.06 or something like that in here, which means gold's up like well over 25% from like here to here. Well, that doesn't mean gold is doing great. It means Bitcoin is volatile as shit. Which, if that's what you're looking for, you got her. And the likelihood that this thing is either going to go big and or crash hard is pretty good, I think. It wouldn't surprise me if in the future, like the next 2, 4, 5, whatever years, if the Bitcoin actually for a period of time is the world's reserve national currency. That wouldn't surprise me, although I would have laughed my ass off 3 years ago when I called them shitcoins. And quite frankly, they are shitcoins, because I remember years ago they actually had physical coins that were extremely bad as far as its metal backing at that time anyway. But throwing that aside, as far as trading this game itself, you have the option to maybe bet this now and have this go to like 4,000 or 5,000 and have a good score. Maybe you bought this way back when and you've already got your score, or you're looking for more score. However, meaning you bought it like, say, whatever, 200, and you sold 20%, maybe here and here or whatever, and you got 60% left, and maybe you bought a bit more back here. Part of the day trading game. And I don't even know how low you can play this for, if you can even day trade a $20 bet or not. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at it. I got $1. Maybe I can even see if I can do something with it, but I'm not going to try. But I'm just saying that because in the actual game, when you play with the banking system, I mean, you can't bet $50 or $100 on a stock and expect that it's going to work with commission. It just ain't going to happen. I don't know how the commissions work as far as the bid-ask trading, but I'm giving you the analysis within here. Key Fibonacci will be from here to here if you're day trading. It's going to be huge. It looks like this is a 38.2%, so 61.8% above the band. Breaking above it, this thing can get pretty wild, and breaking below, you're looking at the next move of well over 100 lower probably. So, and that's from 800. So thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.